On our left, we have head coach Mike Davenport, Sarah Phillips, Natasha Valimsa, and Ansley Williams. Coach, opening comments from this afternoon's game.
Well, first of all, we want to thank all our fans that came out today and the support that we had from everybody, all the volunteers, our field crew, and the parents that have supported us so much throughout the course of the season. And the support is it's unbelievable, and that's what's got us to this point. Division II softball is a challenge. We're faced with a lot of challenges budget-wise and other things, and travel, and the support that families have given these kids is tremendous. We've got a great group of young ladies. I'm so proud of them. What they did today shows a lot about their character. Our senior class, 4 years in a row, has played in the championship game to get to the World Series the first year. Came up one game short, but ever since then they have not lost a championship from conference, tournament, regular season, or regionals or super regionals, and that's impressive. And what they've done for this program will never be duplicated.
Coach, you have to go with Jessica Cohen through all 6 innings here, and hey, she's had to go a lot this weekend. Talk about that decision to go with Jessica throughout the entirety of this one.
Well, I think the utmost respect to Lynn Orion and what they did here this weekend. That's definitely the best hitting team we've played all year long, and we were lucky to come out of this thing and with 2 wins today. Game 1 was just an absolute grind for both teams. All the pitchers did the best they could. It was a difficult situation to pitch in for both teams. Both teams swung the bats extremely well. But in between games, we just felt like Jess had, the potential to shut them down, their bats down a little bit, and she did. And she settled in and threw strikes. And we had Sarah ready, and we had Christian ready as well if we needed. All year, it's been those 3 young ladies that have just, towed the rubber in the circle and got the job done for us.
Coach, talk about the composure of this team. Last night you had a seesaw battle. Game 2 today, or first game today, started off the same way. You'd get up, they'd come back and tie. You found yourself down 6-3, then dropped a 5 spot on them. Talk about this team.
Well, that inning this morning where we scored 5 was one of the gutsiest performances by this team that I've seen in a while. And you've got to credit the young ladies that were swinging the bats and getting the job done. Last night and this morning's games were 2 of the most difficult games, I guess, to be involved in. Something that we've not been involved in a while. I'm sure Lenore hasn't been either. Just the ball leaving the yard so quickly against such good pitching. With LR's, their whole staff has done a tremendous job this season. Our whole staff has done a tremendous job. But for both these teams to come out and swing the bats like they did in game 1 and then this morning again, just kind of put you on your heels, and you had nothing. You didn't know what to expect in game 3, but Jess did a great job keeping them in check, and our bats continue to stay hot in game 3.
Hey, talk about the bats there in game 3, Coach. How about Ansley Williams? 3 hits, including the grand salami. She has 5 RBIs. And we go back to talking about Jessica Cohen as well for a second. You got 2 players that didn't play last year for you. They have to step up here in game 3. Talk about the new faces of this team here in 2011.
Yeah, and again, the biggest challenges these young ladies have had to make this year has just been facing the expectations, and sometimes they were unwanted, but and probably set a little bit higher than they deserve to be set. What last year's team did is passed. We've got a new group of young ladies in here, but the 4 young ladies that we have or 5 young ladies that are new to this program have all played a very big key to our success. Jess throwing the ball for sure, and then Ansley and our Sarah Johnson, Katie Garrett out on the defensive side of things, and Ansley just a freshman. And again, I talked about this the other day. Hitting in the leadoff position is one of the hardest things to do in college softball, and she replaces a good one in Laura Voyles that led off for us for 4 seasons, and it looks like Ansley could be there for the next 4 years herself.
Tosh, today you went 2 for 5. You got a hot bat. I know over the last 2 weekends you've been seeing the ball really well. Talk about your feeling at the plate and, of course, going to the tournament again.
I have a lot of confidence right now, especially I know the whole team is behind me, so I know that if I mess up or I don't get in that bat or get on base, then I know somebody else is going to pick me up, and that helps with the confidence too. And I've definitely been seeing the ball really well, and I hope it continues.
Defensively, you're a warrior out there, battling the heat all day today. Talk about the focus you have to have behind the plate and being the back end of this battery.
Definitely can't take a pitch off, and I have to, especially pitch calling, I have to be in the game the whole time. I got to know exactly where the batters are at what time. I got to know what's working for the pitchers. So it's constantly just, a grind, and I have to be there the whole time. So.
Sarah, I got a question for you. There in game 2, you find yourself in hot water early. You have to really battle through this game 2 for you, and for you mentally, grinding your way through game 2. Was this a game that you just felt you wanted to get out of the way before heading? You knew that game 3 you guys were going to come back and win, but getting that out of the way, how do you feel confidence-wise heading into the College World Series?
I know Coach said it, but it was just a grind for both teams in that situation. I know that there were a lot of elements, outside elements, that everybody was kind of working with and working to overcome. And it wasn't easy. It was actually pretty difficult because, we're trying to throw strikes as pitchers, but when you're not getting as big of a zone as you're used to, you kind of have to nibble on the corners. And then with a good hitting team like North Run, if you get one anywhere too close where you are trying to get a strike, they're going to take advantage of it, which is the same thing that we did. We were in the same situation. Their pitchers were trying to throw strikes, and they had to nibble on the plate. They had to get more of the plate than they typically would do, I'm guessing. And our hitters did the same thing and took advantage of it. When you see, I think there was like 14 home runs in 2 games, everybody's swinging a hot bat, and, the pitchers have to go right at the batters. You don't want to give easy passes and let people get on base, but at the same time, you don't want to give up a home run on a fat pitch.
Ansley, we've already talked about you swinging the hot bat. Reflect back on your freshman year and what it means going to the College World Series, your first year in a D2 program.
It's everything you work for throughout the season. We've talked about it all year. This is what you work for, and I'm just excited. Overwhelming.
Talk about the girls you're playing with, Ansley. The first year for you. It's a great bunch. You come in here with this group. Talk about them for a second and what they've meant to you and how they've welcomed you in this season.
They've welcomed me with open arms. I love all the girls to death. Every one of them. They're the best teammates I've ever had.
All right, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Oh.
Get her some grass.